Hello and welcome to Backstage Goss, the podcast where we dive into the entertainment world. Not just the red carpets and glitter, but the panic, the tears, the questionable career choices, and the what was I thinking moments too. We're talking to real people with real dreams, surviving the highs, the lows, and the occasional identity crisis along the way. So, grab your popcorn. This is going to be fun. A slight change in our plans this week on Backstage Goss. Due to a technical fault, we can't bring you Michael Bond's interview. But what we have got is we've got a young man that decided to get on board the tribute band style, became Freddie Mercury and went from 150 people in a stadium, or in a room I should say, right up to 40 to 50,000 people in a stadium in Liverpool. Welcome to the show, Joseph Lee Jackson.
Hi, this is Joseph Lee Jackson and I play Freddie Mercury in the Queen tribute band Mercury.
I cannot believe we've got Joseph Jackson in the house. Believe me. How long has it been since I saw you?
I don't know, it's been a good few years, hasn't it?
It has been a good few years.
Yeah, 10 is it? We see each other in passing.
Yeah, in passing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing for me was when I employed you in my shop.
Yeah.
My sports shop, do you remember?
Yeah, what was it? Take out? Time out?
Time out.
Time out. Yeah, that was good fun, wasn't it?
And that was you and Chris Wright being little shits, because while I was away, what were you doing?
Well, supposedly selling stock, but we didn't have the location was the problem of the shop, wasn't it?
So it was quiet.
Very quiet, yeah.
But what did you do to make up your time?
I can't remember.
I can.
Well, go on.
You're playing fucking cricket with all the gear. That's what you were doing, playing cricket in the shop.
Yeah, well, you got to try the goods out, haven't you, before you sell them. Try before you buy, sort of thing, you know.
Oh, I don't. No, the good old days. But let's just go back. So what I want to find out in the programme is, how you got into the business. So where did it all come from?
So originally, going back to the very, very beginning sort of thing, my granddad was part of Amateur Operatic Society, and I think I went as probably a 4 or 5 year old to the Palace.
You were that young?
Yeah. So my granddad, he joined in the 70s. And I went with me nan, and we went to see whatever show it was. I think it was either something like Camelot or Oklahoma. And I was just absolutely mesmerised. I was mesmerised with everything what my granddad did anyway. He was really big into his music, all genres of music, performing. He's into sports as well, very good sports athlete. So we went to the Palace Theatre and we saw this show, and the whole building itself, the whole walking. This was the old Palace as well before it got renovated, and to walk in, and they've still got the chandeliers there and everything, and it just took my breath away. It was absolutely fantastic, and I was just mesmerised with it. And so I think that seeing my granddad in the show, being in this fantastic building, seeing that many people on stage, big orchestra and stuff like that, and watching the Muppet Show got me into getting me into the business, or wanting to be involved with something like that.
Or as Animal or something? Or
yeah, probably, yeah, Animal, yeah. I mean, even then, I think, sort of 4 or 5 year old walking into, because, watching the Muppet Show, it was like going to the Palace Theatre, you know what I mean?
Don't, I can't even imagine it. I mean, the thing with the Palace way back then was it was very elegant, wasn't it?
I mean, there's things what I remember. I remember the chandeliers. I can remember the old balcony.
Yeah.
And I was just taken away, blown away by it all. It was just fantastic. Yeah. And obviously, as a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, however old I was, it made a massive impression on me. And I think at the time, or some years, they used to do two shows a year. And so, you go down to the Palace, and, there'd be an April show and then an October show. And it was just absolutely fantastic. I loved it.
But back in them days, it was very structured, wasn't it? So what I'm talking about there is, it was more like a professional show.
Yeah, very much so.
Everybody involved ran with a professional outlook on it all.
Yeah. I mean, my granddad, I know, when they did Camelot, say, he made these like staffs with fleur-de-lis on and different signatures, from that time, because obviously it was set in 400 or 500 years ago. So he was quite involved with it.
So he was doing production work?
No, he'd be on stage, he'd be in the chorus, and then they'd need certain props making for the show. And I remember, he made a fire, an old-fashioned coal fire for when they did My Fair Lady. He did certain things for when they did Oklahoma, when they did Yeoman of the Guard. He'd make all these, shields and different things, and obviously he'd bring them home, and he'd do them from home. And so, watching him sort of over time, not only, rehearsing the harmonies and the lyrics and all that sort of thing, because he'd always be singing, but he would be making these different props and things like that as well. So, not that I was involved, but I'd see these sort of things grow. And,
well, it's learnt habits, isn't it? And learnt behaviour. I mean, that's where it come from. All right, okay, so we're at 4 and 5. You went back to the Palace, though, when you were a kid yourself, didn't you? And played on the stage. What was that about?
Yeah, that was great, that was. So I went to the Grove School, and we did the first show really was Bugsy Malone, and that, I was probably 12 or 13 then when we did that. Still, each year going to the Palace, going to see different sort of shows, up to that age. So, I'd go and see the operatic shows, I'd go and see pantomimes, the gang shows, and the other thing was, we'd go with my granddad. I'd go and see, my granddad loved Gilbert and Sullivan, so we'd probably go to Nottingham or Lincoln. Giving me, I was like a sponge, absorbing all this different types of music and performance. When we used to go on holiday as well, we'd go and see shows, the comedy, Blackpool. So you go and see.
Did you went down the old Pierce?
Yeah.
Wow.
See some of the, the comedians of the time. I remember seeing Mick Miller once. He was absolutely fantastic.
Now then.
Yeah.
You want the red book or the blue book? Now come on, tell me now. What do you want? You want the blue book? You want the blue book? Oh, you naughty people, you.
Yeah, so seeing all that time, of different things, and I was a sponge. Anyway, I went to the Grove. We did Bugsy Malone, and it was like I don't know what you would say it was, but it just grew and grew.
Yeah.
And any time I could, spend at the Palace or be involved with anything like that, performing, I just wanted to be there, and get involved with it.
But, within your family, because I take it you lived with your granddad.
Yeah. So all that time, so the nan and granddad, my mum was at home until she got married.
Yeah.
And my mum's sister. I think I was about 8 or 9 when mum got married, and we sort of moved to Farndon. Yeah. But I was always backwards and forwards from the mum's house to nan and granddad. So
would you say you were immersed in song?
Yeah, pretty much so. Yeah, it was a big thing. The other thing was as well, my nan was involved with the Operatic Society as well, not on stage, but she used to sell programs she'd look after the patrons, lounge throughout the week. So it was, we were brought up with it, and
They were the good old days, though, weren't they?
it was fantastic. Yeah, it was fantastic, and seeing some of the old stars, Jean Robbo, who can, can't forget Robbo. She was always on the front line.
Oh,
Chris Grant, Wendy Turk, Ken Turk, all these people.
Well, they were the local socialites, weren't they?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
I mean, way back then, I did a bit of when I did the research on the Palace Theatre. Their names were coming up regularly. You know what I mean? They were the people in the town that people looked up to.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Went to see.
Yeah, quite possibly. So I did Bugsy Malone.
Who did you play? Can you remember?
Yeah, Fizzy, the cleaning guy, and all he wants to do is dance and sing, and I can't dance for toffee. I had one song in the show, fantastic part. I did the cleaner, and I sang the song, and they got, like most of these school shows, there's always probably about 100 kids too many.
Yeah.
So they had about 80 kids dancing around me. So they did the dancing, and I just did the song and sway.
Because that was under Miss Morgan, wasn't it? Was it Morgan?
No, who was it? It would have been a teacher called Mike Lucas. You remember Mike?
I remember Mike. Yeah, I didn't realise.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
From New Stages, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was. Mike was. Yeah. It was one of us. That's what I was when I came up in the 90s.
Yeah,
a new stager. All right, good. So we got the school bit out of the way. So you've kept that going.
Yeah.
Now, talk to me about the community pantomime.
Well, where do you start with that? So, I wasn't very good at school. The only time I went to school was.
Is there a surprise there or not?
Well, I didn't have time. I didn't have time for school. I was too busy.
Doing what?
Well, to help out on farms and stuff like that. So.
Oh, really?
June, July time, it's busy hay making, isn't it?
Are you serious? You went out and did all that stuff? Oh my gosh.
Potato picking, September, October.
Oh.
Doing all that sort of malarkey. It was good fun. I enjoyed it. It's good. It's great.
Did the school used to ring you up and say, Lee, are you joining us?
Yeah. I remember once there was a time, I can't remember her name now, but what was her name? Kate Larder, something like that.
No.
The truancy, she come down a field. No, we ran off.
Are you serious?
We ran off.
Running across. Who was with you then?
John O'Sharp, John O'Rowe, lads from the Grove, yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, it was interesting. It was good, But, so I did Bugsy Malone.
Yeah.
And then a big influence on me was a guy called Ray Dix, who was head of drama at the Grove, and he asked me to audition for the community pantomime. And Ray used to direct the community pantomime, and
Ray Semple. He was right man.
What was the so you had Operatic Society, New Stages.
Yeah.
Was it the Palace Theatre Company or something like that?
Oh, I don't know.
So anyway,
20 years before my time.
I joined them as well.
Oh, right.
Through Ray, did a few parts, Ray was absolutely fantastic. I can't remember what year was the first pantomime that I did. I can remember it being Sleeping Beauty, but it struck some right friendships up there, and we keep in touch with people,
But what parts did you play? Do you remember?
First couple of years I did chorus, and then I did played a dog, which was great. I enjoyed that. That was good. That was a good part. And then back into the chorus, and then got to about 16, 17. I think one of the main parts was the year that you came.
That was in the 90s.
I
did do a day.
Yeah. I think that was the first one.
Yeah.
What show was that?
Oh gosh. It wouldn't have been Dick Whittington. Do you know, I can't remember.
But anyway, I did this part. We played again. We played together, didn't we?
Oh my God! What was?
I was
yes, you're
Freckles.
Right.
Freckles.
Yeah.
Freckles.
Dooby. I can remember the song.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun.
So and then for about 2 or 3 years that I was still involved. Cause I think I left sort of like when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah, my late teens. Did like I normally used to get the daft sort of roles, which
it was the comedy roles, wasn't it?
Yeah, kind of tell the story and have a bit of banter with with the audience, that sort of thing,
Yeah.
So so I mean that was good fun.
But that was singing, wasn't it? I mean, because you were a good little singer there.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, you never got anything thrown at you, did you?
Well, no, but I still couldn't dance.
No, you're right. But like so, I mean, because what I'm leading up to with this, is you've moved on to play a superstar.
Yeah, you could say
Freddie
that,
Mercury. No, we need to say it because I mean, the old boy was a superstar.
Oh, he was, yeah.
But you see, you say he was, but in a parallel type dimension, you're playing Freddie. You are singing.
Yeah.
I can close my eyes. I remember coming to an actual gig and thinking, fuck me, he's dead. Close my eyes. No, he's not. He's on stage. It was just incredible. So let's talk about how you actually got into being Freddie.
Yeah, well, that was strange. I mean, at the time, I was now living in Leicester. And I used to go down to London 2 or 3 times a week for auditions, open auditions for numerous shows, whether it be a show, a touring show, or even a cruise.
So was you doing it professionally then?
What,
all your auditions and everything else?
Oh yeah. So at the time I was working at the same time as well. I was working. I was courier working for a company. I was working at the Haymarket Theatre behind the bar. I was doing stuff backstage as well. And in between that, I was going down to London for open call auditions.
And let me just ask you this, right? Because people nowadays do things totally different. Just talk me through that process, yeah?
Well, what, the auditions?
Yeah, well, the auditions, but actually getting them as well. Where did you go?
So what it was the stage newspaper, what used to come out on a Thursday. And so you'd buy it on a Thursday, you'd get to the back pages and it would tell you where the auditions were the following week. For what show, what company, whatever job basically. And so I'd get the paper, I'd look at the auditions. Sometimes it used to be on a Sunday, so that was a free day, so that was great. Travel down to London, and as much as some of the jobs were way out of my league, it was experience, and you was meeting other people.
Sure, yeah.
And they'd say, "Oh, have you heard about so-and-so audition? Have you heard this, that, and the other?" And we were going down there, week in, week out for months at a time. You'd meet up with, you see the same faces.
Exactly,
sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it was nice. It was like sort of, you'd go down, you meet these people, go for a drink afterwards.
It was like your own community, wasn't it?
Yeah. And it was good fun. And it was, if anything, it was a really good experience. I can remember going down once and it was for Beauty and the Beast, and it was a fabulous experience because it was actually held on the Dominion stage.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So, my claim to fame, I've been on 2 or 3, I think 3 West End stages, and the Dominion is one of them. And
wow.
We had this audition. And at the time, so this would probably have been before the band, so maybe 96, 97. They said the advert, right, casting for Beauty and the Beast. Bring a song, what shows your range off, and all this. So went down on Sunday afternoon. There was probably about 30 lads there, about 150 girls, and all the guys basically sang There was at the time there'd be about 3 or 4 songs what everybody would sing. It'd be something either from Les Mis, something from Phantom. What else was the other one? I can't remember the other song now. But basically, all the lads used to sing the same song. Oh, Aspects of Love. Changes everything. Michael Bolton. And none of us got a look in because basically what they wanted was a Disney song, but they didn't put that in the ad.
Right.
So all these lads would go down, get on stage, give the pianist the music. You could just see the faces of the directors.
So you actually took Docs down with you?
Yeah, I took Docs down, yeah. You'd go on stage, you'd sing in front of your... So there'd be either 6 of you, you'd sing your piece, and it was like, next, thank you. And sometimes you'd get through about probably 3 or 4 notes, and they knew if you was
straight away.
That happened a few times, but there was a time when I auditioned for, what was it now? I can't remember. It was Dr. Dolittle.
You weren't playing Eliza, were you?
No, that's My Fair Lady, isn't it?
Is it?
No, what's the...
Yeah.
Dr. Dolittle?
Dr. Dolittle. What he was it?
What's the one?
I Can Walk, I Can Talk.
No, it's not that
Rex
show,
Harrison, wasn't it?
Yeah, Rex Harrison. What's... He played the character.
He played it, yeah.
No, but Rex Harrison played the... I Speak to the Animals. What's that?
Yeah, that's it. Dolittle.
Is it Dr.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah. So is that a show? And I got to a certain... I sang about 3 or 4 notes, and the guy said, right, yeah, we'll see you next week. Oh. So I had to go back down to London for a movement audition. And
it's going to be interesting.
I've got no chance. No, yeah. I've got no chance. So,
what part did they want you to play? An animal or something? Or?
Well, basically, it was just like the ensemble at starters, yeah.
Oh, okay, right.
So, yeah, you'd audition, and anyway, I got... people who was any good at dancing, they got shown to the left, I got shown to the right. So... so that happened several times because my movement skills were non-existent. So
but it's interesting you say that, because when you're out on stage, I mean, we know Freddie Mercury we're talking about, he never did a lot of anything, but the movement that he did have was almost like it was choreographed because he was led by the music.
Yeah, that's right.
And you picked that up, haven't you?
Yeah. So going back, to the band when we started. So
when did you start the band?
So I auditioned in 1998. I was the last of about 40 people auditioned for the role of Freddie.
Oh my God, right.
And
let me just stop you there, right a minute. So how did that come about then?
So again, it was an advert in stage, and I never thought I'd be able to do it.
Oh right.
So I thought I'd just go for the laugh, really. It's an audition, again, it's experience. And I was still living in Leicester. The band was in Mansfield. So I got an audition this particular evening or day, whatever it was. And it was a good excuse to, if I'm over in Mansfield, pop over to Newark as well.
Right.
So I auditioned, I did about half a dozen songs, which I sort of knew. Glenn,
and they were Freddie songs, right?
Yeah, all Queen songs, yeah. So the day before the audition, I bought this, the Greatest Hits music book, for Queen. And funny enough, the year Freddie died, 1991, I was working at your shop. And I bought the Greatest Hits on cassette.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a bit spooky.
Weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that night of that he passed, the ITV put as a memorial, a live concert on, and I videoed it. So going forward, 7 years.
Goodness, yeah.
The day before the audition, I bought this music book, blah blah blah, and I auditioned. Had a chat with Glenn and Pat, our drummer, and they heard something there. And then several weeks later, I got a recall, or went for the recall audition. So so they wanted me to just have a look around, you know, a few more songs, and then just see what my kind of stage presence were. So this cassette, what I'd never watched.
You never watched it at all.
Until that time. Yeah. So, you know, if there's anything half decent, you know, regarding sort of performing, or live, I'd record it, and I'd never, you know, up until that date, I'd never watched it. So I remembered, I've got this, you know, this second audition. They want to see me do a bit of movement. So, yeah, I watched this and sort of like learnt the mannerisms, the moves, and, you know, kind of like Freddie's stage persona. So the second audition, that was just that was between me and this other guy, and then they offered me the role. And at the same time, I'd got an audition. No, I got a pantomime based down in Eastbourne. So I took this video cassette with me. Took the greatest hits cassette, because it's a cassette. You didn't know many CDs about then. And when we used to do the pantomime, every sound check, I'd go through. Glenn, our guitarist, he'd give me some backing tracks of, you know, the arrangements, how we was going to perform it. I would go through like the sound check. I'd say to our sound engineer, put this particular track on today, and then I'd sort of like, learn the songs, the arrangements through sound check. So I did panto for like 2 months. It was a touring pantomime. So, you know, probably rehearse or do a sound check maybe 2 or 3 times a day.
Do you think they thought it was a bit weird that you were doing Freddie songs instead of songs from the show?
I don't know. I mean, the sound engineer, who's, you know, we're still good friends now, he was great. He just let me do whatever I wanted to do. And obviously he understood that when the panto finished, I was to carry on the, you know, this role as Freddie, so to speak. So so that's sort of like got me in good stead. And then during that time, I came home, or came over to Mansfield. We had a couple of auditions for agents to get us on the scene, basically, and you know, for audition for work. Around about that time, there was the Yates's Wine Lodges. What used to have entertainment midweek. So we auditioned for this agent, and then, I mean, the band started properly in 1999, but it put us in good stead for, you know, the work, the Yates's Wine Lodges, you know, when we officially started.
Yeah. So did you do, did you get out there and, you know, for the agents, you know, just show them what you could do?
Yeah. So basically, it would be like a 15-minute performance, all the band. So most Sundays, I'd travel back to Mansfield. I was still living in Leicester, and I'd go through the songs and everything with Glenn. He'd play in his studio, and we'd go through the songs and the harmonies as well, because obviously, you know, there's quite a lot of harmony stuff in Queen's music. And
so can you actually read music?
Can't read music. I've got a rough idea of, you know, whether it's needs to be up or down sort of thing.
Yeah.
So we'd go that. He'd play like the harmony lines, you know, for some of the big songs.
Yeah.
And I'd learn them. I'd take them home. He'd record them for me, and then I'd go back and listen to them. And then the auditions process, I think we did probably about, I don't know, probably half a dozen maybe. You know, we'd go to a venue, and obviously we'd set up the equipment, get in costume. This is all the band, and then do the audition. You know, and it'd be like a 15-minute audition. Sometimes it was like for a soul agent, or it would be for, say, like the Yates's Wine Lodges. They'd have managers
come
to the auditions, you know, from all around the country. So I'd like book them or book this, and basically like a showcase sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that's how it started. And then fast forward to be about sort of, I don't know, February, March time of 1999 when we started professionally.
Yeah.
You know, getting paid for gigs properly. We found out that an agent promoter type guy from Mallorca was wanting a Queen tribute. and he flew over from Mallorca, and it was probably our official first gig, really, paid gig.
Yeah.
And he signed us up on the spot that night.
Really?
Like what he saw, yeah. And that was really good because, so originally wanted us out there for 6 months, but the guys in the band, they'd got families, couldn't commit for 6 months. So we ended up going for 3 months.
In one stretch?
Yeah, so we'd go
right.
sort of like middle of June till middle of September.
Yeah.
6 nights a week.
Yeah.
Touring all around Mallorca.
Oh, right.
And that was phenomenal. It was brilliant.
And with regards to that agent, what did he do? Did he pay for your gigs? Your sleeping accommodation?
Yeah.
Absolutely everything.
So we had sort of like 3 apartments. We had to drive over there, take our equipment.
Yeah.
So we had 3 apartments. So gigs, food. It was all looked after.
What was the money like?
That I can't remember. I mean, the money over here wasn't very good, I think.
No, right.
You'd be lucky if you got about 500 or 600 quid a night, maybe.
What for the group?
For the band, yeah.
Oh my gosh, how many of you in the band?
So there's 5 on stage, and then we used to take a roadie as well. So 6 of us.
It's not a lot of money, is it?
Not really. But the Mallorcan thing, it was great because, so we started officially in the March. So that gave us March, April, May. Yeah, 3 or 4 months where we'll be working. And some nights in this country, we were working 4 or 5 nights a week. Everything from like the Yates's Wine Lodges, the odd private party, to your working men's clubs.
Right.
And there was a lot of working men's clubs back, 27 years ago.
I bet you've been up and down the country on the working men's club.
All over, yeah. Yeah.
That must have been exciting just to be in that part of the world, with the working men's club.
Yeah, it's strange. I mean, it seems like a foreign place now because, fast forward 27, 28 years now, there's hardly any of these venues about now. Which is a shame.
But when you look back, at the all the old groups and everything else, that was their stomping ground.
Yeah, that's
that's where they did their apprenticeships, really.
That's right, yeah. And it was good. And every night for us that we gigged was a rehearsal, because we'd learn new songs.
Right.
We'd been, obviously the music was there. And we'd, each week we'd try and learn a new song.
Yeah.
And then we'd put it in the second set, when everybody's had a few drinks.
Yeah, right.
They don't know any different sort of thing. So that was it was a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
Because we'd travel. I mean, just to get a gig, just to get on the circuit. One night we might be in Newcastle, the next night we'd be in Devon or Cornwall or somewhere, and then the next night after that we'd be in Liverpool.
Right. So this is what I can never understand about that, right? And that is, you got an agent, yeah.
Well, they think they work for Thomas Cook. That's
right. Yeah. Right.
But at the time, you see, we was happy to do it because we needed to get funds in.
Yeah, right.
So we did that for about 3 or 4 months, and then come June, we went out to Mallorca for 3 months. So we was out of the country.
Yeah.
And we was quite a big thing, all building into a big thing.
Yeah.
We want to book Mercury, well, they're not here. They're out of the country. But you can book them September, October, November, December, and they come back into the country. So our manager, he had 3 months where he didn't have to find his work, so it took a bit of workload off his back.
Yeah.
But he was saying, you can have them
in
the winter. So we did that for 3 years, and it was absolutely phenomenal. We played, up and down the country. Come June, September, out of the country. Mallorca was hard work though. I mean, we was gigging 6 nights a week.
Yeah, a lot on it.
And we'd do anything from a small pub, which maybe hold 150 people, to festivals. And some of the biggest festivals played to like 25,000 people.
Shut up.
So sort of like
wait.
July, August.
But what? Oh, that's just blown my mind.
And this was playing to Spanish people as well.
But that's like, I mean, You must have felt like Freddie and 25,000 people going out there and opening your mouth and then going, ah!
Yeah, it was strange because a lot of the time, so the same, we was playing, we'd be support act to like a famous Spanish band,
Right.
not an English band. So there was a few famous bands what would fly over, and you get to the gig, you'd be setting up, getting ready for sound check, and there'd be like fans there, with their t-shirts on. You thinking, this is gonna be hard work tonight. But the great thing is with Queen music, it's so universal.
Right.
So obviously we're lucky that everybody knows Queen songs. So sometimes we used to go down as well as the big famous Spanish act.
Yeah.
Even so, I can remember once we did one show, big festival, and the band what was headlining, they were pissed off with us because we stormed it. They wouldn't let us in the dressing room to get our gear out.
Oh, what they like? No, you're not coming in.
Yes, something like that.
Yeah. But in Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Normally you find it's no, you're not coming in.
Oh, Fokovsky. But anyway, that was good fun. It was fantastic.
Right.
So we did that for 3 summer seasons.
And that's to put you on a high though.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah,
I bet.
Fantastic. It was good. And I was young then. I was only like 23, 24.
So you were buzzing.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, it was great. But some of these festivals, you probably didn't go on stage till about 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh.
So the next day you're playing at wherever.
Yeah.
You've got to be at the venue at 5 o'clock.
Oh.
In the afternoon.
Man.
To set up and sound check and do it all again. So that was doing that for 3 months, 6 nights a week.
What was the downside to all that though?
At the time, I don't think there was a downside. No. Downside was probably coming back here.
To England.
Yeah. Because, we've met so many, people on holiday, so they want a good time,
Yeah.
We was having a good time. The weather was nice. We'd go to a venue, earlier in the day.
Yeah.
Spend the day there by the pool. We got to know the people behind the bar who was working there. They'd look after us, free drinks, food. Set up 5 or 6 o'clock, go for something to eat, go on stage at 9 o'clock. So, it was good. It made some fantastic friends.
Yeah.
I go to Mallorca last 3 or 4 years as me and my family have been to Mallorca. I catch up with a guy I met 27 years ago. And we probably messaged 2 or 3 times a month.
Yeah.
He was a massive Queen fan. His family owned a restaurant next to the hotel where we used to play. They used to come and see us, and we struck a friendship up.
Yeah.
And now, to this day, we're still friends,
Yes.
That's
fantastic. Cool. Let me just talk about voice coaching, yeah? Because, did it come naturally, to sound like Freddie?
Not really, no. When I first auditioned, I got the range, but I was very theatrical, very musical theatre. I cringe now listening to it, very strict. So that was the big help with doing the sound check, rehearsing when I was doing the pantomime.
Yeah.
So I could sort of get my voice, if you like, so to say, acclimatised to singing Freddie.
Did you go to a voice coach?
Not then, I didn't know. I just mostly did it from home.
Just through your ear, just by listening?
Yeah, pretty much so, yeah.
Wow.
And it probably took about 6 months to probably get near Freddie's voice. The thing is, Freddie's voice is so demanding. Every song is pretty high.
Right.
And you don't get, there's no let up from it.
Yeah.
And how Freddie sang on stage is totally different how he sang in the studio. So,
well, let's clarify that. How do you mean?
So maybe in the studio versions, he'd probably go to his falsetto, to get some of them high notes. And obviously, it all depends what song it is.
Yeah.
But quite early on into sort of me, touring, I lost my falsetto range. And Freddie, it used to happen to Freddie as well.
Oh.
So instead of having the option of, going to the falsetto, he'd used to either go down, down a notch, or he'd sing it full blast, full
on.
head on sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that's how I do it. I sing, our performance is amalgamation of sort of like Freddie's stage voice, live voice, with the guys doing the harmonies and, playing of how the studio versions were singing. So it works well, it does work well, but that was the only option I'd got, because I'd say I couldn't escape to my falsetto.
Yeah.
Because there was nothing there. So I had to hit it, full on. How Freddie did it.
She's incredible, isn't it? Because, I mean, as I say, I can remember going to the Working Men's Club over at, was it Kirkby?
Yeah.
You were over there one night, and you rung us up and you said, I'm here. And we went down there, and I can remember seeing women holding pint jugs and just like, they were down.
Nashfield, yeah.
And that's it. And then they'd finish it and smash it on the floor.
Yeah.
Give me another. And that was their voice.
They
weren't fellas, they were at it. But then on stage was Freddie going at it. And you got to, there was one, what is it? You can see I'm not a Freddie fan as such, but it was one of those ones, real high, long notes that you held. And the whole place, I just watched the crowd, and they just, all their drinks came down, all eyes were on you, and you went into it, and you held it, and you held it, and I'm thinking, breathe, get off the note, you can breathe now, but you'd obviously practiced, because this note just was so bloody long, it was like, shit, what's it doing?
Because, the main thing is, and, when we started, we wanted it to be, it's a tribute, but we wanted it to be bang on. So it's when...
a bit more than a tribute, you're not.
I hope so.
It is. Yeah, listen, I don't care what anyone says. I've seen other tribute bands, out there.
We wanted to be loyal, and faithful to, obviously, Queen and Freddie's legacy, and everything else what goes with it, really. And that's a big thing, that's a big sort of area where Queen fans don't really get that. They'll say they don't understand it. It's like, why is somebody dressing up like him? Why do they need to dress up? But, there's a lot of people who never got to see Freddie.
Right.
And this is the argument I have with Queen fans, or to people who sort of diss tribute acts. Just say, like Freddie, the persona, what he had on stage wasn't the person he was off stage.
No, right.
It was a performance.
Yeah.
And when we first started, I thought, well, if I'm going to do it, I want to take it on as if I'm taking on a role.
A role.
Do
you think that leads back to your theatre?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
So for the 2 hours, obviously, you put the yellow jacket on or whatever costume, you get into that role.
Yeah.
That character. I'm saying he wasn't that person off stage.
No, right.
He invented this animal sort of thing, what pranced and sang and did all these wonderful things on stage. So that's how I looked at it. I don't think I'm Freddie Mercury. I think I'm Freddie Mercury on stage, because that's the performance and role what I've taken on.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm nothing like Freddie off stage. I can't afford to be.
Yeah,
I used to, because I always, I'm not as slim as Freddie was or anything like that.
No.
And I know Freddie's sister, and we used to always have a laugh, saying that I've got to keep off the pints. And Freddie, he used to. I think his favourite drink was, I don't know, crystal champagne or something else. It's like, I like a drink, but I can't afford
just drink Prosecco.
Well, I do. I've made up for it in the last 10 years since meeting my wife. She likes to drink.
Now, it's interesting that you mentioned Freddie's sister there, because you've also met a few other celebrities.
Well, let me tell you that it was quite bizarre, really. So we'd been probably touring about 2 or 3 years, and everybody around sort of Nottingham knew Freddie's mum and sister lived in Nottingham. And they came, his sister came up in the early 80s, and his mum came up in the late 80s. And so everybody knew, but they respected their privacy, basically. About a year before I went to their house, Freddie's sister's house, we did a show in Mallorca, one-off show. And Roger Taylor was in the audience. He was like guest of honour. And Roger came backstage to us and spent half an hour with us, just chit-chatting away.
Nice.
It was quite amazed about how much work we did, how long we'd been touring, what we did, where we went, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Moving forward about a year or so, 18 months, we were playing at Newark, at the Palace. I had this bright idea about inviting Freddie's sister and his mum. So I went to Freddie's sister's house on Mapley Tops and said, I'd like to speak to you about a show, what's coming to the area. Oh yeah, come in. And this was Freddie's brother-in-law. And I gave him a flyer and his face just dropped. He was like shocked. He said, how do you know we're here? And who we are. I said, well, it's common knowledge. I said, I've just had the balls to come up and invite you to a gig. I was shitting it actually, but I passed on the number. I told them that we'd played for Roger, a year or so before then. And he rang me up 2 days later and said, we'd like to take you up on the offer of the tickets to come and see you. And Freddie's mum is excited to come and see you. So that was it.
Oh, bless her.
So we did the show at Newark, really good night. And then they came backstage and we met them, the band met them. And so that was maybe about 2002, up until about maybe, 2014, maybe 2015. We had this lovely relationship with Freddie's mum. And if he was ever playing in the area, his mum and Cash, Freddie's sister, came a few times. She found it quite strange, actually.
Did she?
Yeah. So Freddie's brother-in-law, Rog, he used to bring Freddie's mum, and it was awesome. Obviously, a great privilege to have her in the audience. But as much as she used to enjoy watching our performance, she used to love watching the audience enjoy her son's music, and
wow,
it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Then several years later, we got asked by the family to perform in Feltham, like a Hollywood star type thing, what they did for Freddie in the town centre. There was unveiling that, and Brian May was going to be there. And they said, would you do an hour's performance before the unveiling? I said, yeah, we jumped at the chance.
Yeah,
and then we was in an after show sort of party after the unveiling with Brian and Freddie's family, which was fantastic. Amazing. And I was in a little room, still in costume. It's like Freddie's mum, his sister, a cousin, Freddie's brother-in-law, and Brian May sat there, and we're talking. And at times it
must have been surreal.
Well, very, very strange, because they was talking about the old days, talking about Freddie would have loved this, this Hollywood star thing. And at times, because of the stuff what they was saying, talking about reminiscing, I find I shouldn't have been there, but
right,
there wasn't a moment, and obviously I was that intrigued that I didn't want to leave, because it was, very a magic sort of like hour and a half sort of thing.
I wonder if they actually thought, you were playing Freddie, not that you were Freddie, but to look at you in your costume and the full get-up and everything else, they'd have gone, or just been at ease, just talking about it. Because you do, when you're up there and you're strutting your stuff and everything else, and you open your mouth, I hear and I see Freddie. I don't see the slim Freddie, I see the fat Freddie.
Yeah.
Let's just make that point, right? But no, do you know what I mean? I mean,
yeah, that's you know, like when we started, we wanted to be obviously really faithful to Freddie and Queen, and I think that's probably why, you know, 27 years later, that's why we're still here. It's still here.
Is that long? It's been 27 years?
Yeah, 27 years. Been touring.
Because, I mean, there's been other groups that have come and gone, haven't there?
Yeah, I mean, the downside for... I mean, obviously, we're quite established now. In the last probably 5 or 6 years, since the movie came out, there's every other band's now. There's a Queen tribute band what's out there.
So is that making your life more difficult?
Yeah, the business has changed since sort of like 2020, since COVID and that sort of thing.
In what way?
Well, it's changed. It changed, but so, you know, going back to the early days, what we wanted to do, so we did all the fun pubs over the years. We used to do like the Butlins, we used to do the Warner holidays, festivals and stuff like that. But the aim was to take a show into theatre. And at the time when we first started, there was a bit of there was only a few sort of tribute bands on the circuit then. Bootleg Beatles, which have been going for years now, 40 plus years, was one of the big ones. And we wanted something on, not necessarily that scale, but something of that type of show. And a lot of theatres, you know, up and down the country, there was like, no, we have the Bootleg Beatles, or there was a band called Magic, what used to do Queen. There was a band called the Royal Family, which was probably the first dress-up sort of band, what used to do theatres. But the theatre managers at the time, they were very snobbish. Oh no, we don't need tribute bands. You're not.
Oh really? Oh gosh.
Yeah, snobby about it.
Yeah.
And as time's gone on, you know, for a lot of theatres, they rely on tribute bands now.
Do now, yeah.
There's probably too much tribute bands now in theatre.
Yeah.
But if it's paying people's wages and it's keeping places open,
but it's also keeping people's memories alive.
Exactly.
Like for me, you know, as I say, I mean, when I saw you, I never got to see Freddie because I was never into his music. Unfortunately, I'm a soul, R&B, black music, Motown type stuff. Yeah. But when I came and I saw you, it was like, oh my God, I have definitely missed out. Yeah.
The good thing is with Queen, and it's like the Beatles as well, and ABBA, and you know, like your Elvis Presley sort of stuff. It's music that we've all grown up with.
Yeah.
You know,
it's all relatable. Yeah.
It's in the respect of, you know, I can remember, you know, before starting the band, that we'd, you know, you'd go on a journey somewhere, and there'd be a Queen song on, or an ABBA song, you know, or Beatles, whatever. So a lot of the music, it's music what we've grown up with.
Yeah. Before we end this session, there's a couple of things I want to ask you. People that are coming into the industry, really need to know what this industry is about, because it's not all roses, is it?
No, I mean, and that, on the way down, actually, you know, before thinking about it, performers are quite robust people, because you know, like you say, you go to audition after audition, and you've got to be a strong character, because I say there's a lot of no's next, you know, in this job. So you've got to be really strong-willed and, you know, keep believing in yourself. Really, I think, you know, just to accept it. And as I said, when I used to go down for the auditions, you know, you can always learn something, you know. And I think any performer, you know, even now, 27 years on, you know, there might be some nights I might sing or phrase something differently, and I think, oh, well, I've only been doing it 27 years, and I've learned how to make this easier to sing, or put this across.
Yeah.
So you never stop learning, you know. And I think the other thing is as well, be a sponge, in the respect of, take as much experience and different things of performing in to enhance your performance.
Yeah. If anyone's ever criticised you, have you thought, do you know what? They've got a point there.
The biggest criticism, and let's face it now, as good as your Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram are, how good they are. You're always going to get a keyboard warrior. We get them with Queen, die-hard Queen fans, and it's like they'll say, "Oh, you're just trying to make a fast buck." No, it's not really. It's
a career that you've got.
All I say is, well, would you slag off? It's like somebody like Mozart. So a violinist playing Mozart, isn't he allowed to play that music? So that's the way I looked at it. You're always going to get criticism and everything. Yeah. Everybody picks fault with everybody and everything nowadays. Let them get up there on stage and do it and put themselves on the front line. And
put themselves through and the 27 years of travelling and, living away from your family and all that type of stuff.
And, as a singer, if you're having a bad night, it's a bloody lonely place. Because the rest of the guys, you've got bands, guys around you, but they can't bail you out. If you're the front man, you've got to do it. And it can be a lonely place. The other thing is as well, again, with performers, is you might be having a really shit day. But when you go on that stage, you've got to make that, forget about all them problems what you've got at home.
Yeah.
And you want the audience to forget about their problems for 2 hours. You want them to have a good time. So again, performers are quite... I'm trying to think of the word. Come on, Steve. Give us a word.
I want you to dig deep now.
Oh God, I've been digging all day.
No. Okay, so
resilient.
Resilient, maybe, but let's just go back. Yeah. If you'd have been in school instead of being in fields picking potatoes, you'd know this vocabulary. That's all I'm saying.
Quite possibly. But
it is resilient. Yeah.
So to go from next, see you next time sort of thing. Yeah. To having your own problems, and then going on stage and putting on that big smile, that resilient, brave. I don't know. It's. And
have you ever done that?
Yeah.
That's a performer times. In you, though, isn't it?
You've got to forget about that, and it just shows you what performers are.
Well, look, I've got to say thank you very much, because I know you've got to get off to a gig. If I had to give you one piece of advice, right, with regards to Freddie, I know, leave your glasses on, right? You don't need to take them off.
Lose some weight. If you say that.
No, I'm not going to say lose some weight. No, because you've got everything. Everything is rounded, beautifully. But take this, because this is what you need. Get your teeth sorted. Get them big bucky jobs in there. For me, the sound and everything else, looking at you, because you've got perfect teeth at the moment, it's like, that's not Freddie. I know that's not Freddie. Lee, thank you very much indeed.
Cheers, mate. Good to see you.
27 years as Freddie Mercury. What an achievement. And you know what? His voice is still as fresh as it was back then. The guy's amazing. But listen to what he said. It wasn't easy. It was a hard slog. He was away for 3 months at a time. He'd come back from Europe and then he'd play over here, backwards and forwards. Life was always up and down. So if you think, you're going to get an easy ride being in a tribute band, think again. As he said, his agents had him going up Liverpool 1 minute and Devon the following day and then all over. It doesn't make sense, but you go where the business is. Anyway, who's next up? Do you know what? I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to wait and find out. And tune in to Backstage Goss next week.